In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to manage your networks in Monarch. Monarch has two main applications, which are social sharing and social following. Social sharing adds sharing buttons to your posts and pages that allow people to share your posts and pages on various social networks, such as Facebook or Twitter. For example, if someone wanted to share a post they really like on their own Facebook feed to their friends, that's what social sharing would allow them to do. Whereas social following, on the other hand, will link out to your social profiles and allow people to follow that profile. So if you have a Facebook fan page for your business and you want to link out to that fan page and allow someone to follow you on that social profile, that's what social following is for. Now you can manage your networks for these two main applications separately. So you can have a list of networks for social sharing that you want to allow people to share to, and you can have a separate list of social following that links out to the social profiles that you might happen to have. So before you can actually enable social sharing or social following, you first need to add some networks. For example, if you logged in, started setting up Monarch, you chose to enable the sidebar location for social sharing and saved, Monarch's going to tell you, hey, wait, you need to add networks first. Otherwise, there's no point to enable that location. So head over to the Networks tab here and click the Add Network button for social sharing. And you're going to get a list of all the social networks that Monarch supports for sharing. And you can just click on them, select the ones you want, and apply. Once you've applied them, you can actually drag and drop them as well and order them. So you want to order them in order of importance or in order of popularity. For example, I would venture to guess that Facebook is probably the most popular network and probably the one that's going to get you the most shares and the most sharing activity. So you want to keep that at top, followed by Twitter and Google+, probably the next most popular ones. I tend to keep those at the top of the list. Now you'll notice for Twitter, it's a little bit unique. It has a unique setting here, which is username. None of the other networks have this. And what this is just a place for you to put in your social profile name. For example, ours would be Elegant Themes. This is our Twitter handle. And every time someone shares a post on Twitter through the Monarch social sharing button, if you have inputted your name there, it's going to add an @Elegant Themes or @your profile, which gives you a bit of extra exposure. And once you've added your networks, you can click Save. So in this case, I've added my networks. I have sidebar and I'll enable inline as well. Save. Check out our post here. And you can see those networks have been enabled within the locations that I've enabled. And there you go. That's how networks management works within sharing. Let's check out social following next. So go into the social follow tab to see all the social follow options here. Now social follow works a little bit different than social sharing. As I said, it links out to your social profiles. So there's no reason to have them integrated in the same areas as social sharing. Instead, we have two different areas, which are widget and shortcode. The widget allows you to add links to your social profiles within your sidebar, footer, any widgetized area of your theme, whereas the shortcode allows you to generate a shortcode that can allow you to place follower buttons anywhere you like, anywhere within your posts or pages, anywhere you can paste shortcodes. But first of all, we need to add networks, so let's do that. Elegant Themes happens to have a couple different networks here, Facebook, Twitter, and Google. Going to apply. And you have some different options here. So networks for social following work a little bit differently. You can adjust the title that appears. You need to input the URL to your social profile. For example, our URL would be facebook.com/elegantthemes. For Twitter, twitter.com/elegantthemes, and you get the idea. This option over here where you see these numbers here, the counts, this is where you can manually input your follower count if you want to display how many followers you have. Now, luckily, some of these networks give us an API that we can use to manually detect how many followers you have, and therefore you won't have to come in and manually update this as you get more followers. But only a small amount of networks actually allow us to do that. So if you look down here under display settings, you see this option here, get counts via API. If you click this, then it's going to automatically grab your follower counts from the networks that support it. And the networks that support it will have a little green check mark here. So this says, hey, you have selected get counts automatically. Facebook supports that. Check mark. You don't have to input your account manually. It's going to do it for you. So don't need to input account for Facebook. For Twitter, you would have to input something. So for example, right now Elegant Themes has around 19,000 followers. You put in the number 19,000 there, and then that would display within your widget or your shortcode if you have counts enabled. Moving on, there's also some API settings. So some of the networks have a little bit more in-depth API settings you have to authorize with your app. Authorize your website as an app within those networks to grab those counts. And it gets, so it's a little bit more work to get automatic counts from certain networks. But if you have any of these networks enabled, you can grab counts automatically using their API and their OAuth authorization. That would be Vimeo, Instagram, and LinkedIn at this time. And if you want to learn how to grab counts automatically from these networks, be sure to check out the other tutorial about using OAuth API settings. I'm not going to get into that right now, so if you happen to have any of these networks enabled, check out that tutorial next. Okay, so I've added networks for social follow. I've enabled counts for Facebook. I forgot to put in the count here, so we have 15 followers on Google+. I'm going to save changes. And yeah, that's about it. So if you were to now enable a widget or a shortcode, those networks would appear. And that is how you manage networks in Monarch.